Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, actually episode 12. So again, if you saw the last video, I do apologize for missing a few episodes, and the reason being we were very busy over December with the service pop-up in Savile Row, but also just incredibly busy with December and everything else that's happened in the UK, lockdowns, and it's been manic, but we are happy to be back. We hope you had a great new year and a great Christmas. So as always with these episodes, there is links down in the description to every single watch we're talking about. There's also a timestamp to skip to that specific watch we are discussing. So you can skip all my ramblings, which I do a lot of apparently, and you can get straight to what you want to see. And I just want to say before we begin, a huge thank you for all your support over December. It was an incredibly successful month, and January has already been amazing as well, and that's thanks to you guys and girls. And lastly, do make sure you're following on Instagram, because we showcase the watches early on there. So of the 25 or so watches we've had in recently, 6 to 7 have already sold, so make sure you're following there. And of this drop, 2 have sold as well. There's been a very interesting Amiga Geneve with a integrated bracelet. I'll put a couple of photos of that up on screen, and also a beautiful Bell ATP military watch from World War II. Both of those have gone, so we are left with the watches that are on the table. Still an incredible selection, so let's get into it. So where to begin? I think it's quite obvious, isn't it? We've got to start with the insane ALange Saxonia. So before we quickly dive into the ALange, I remembered I didn't share what was on my wrist. It is this gorgeous 1968, 67-ish Citizen Crystal 7 day date with the Japanese date disc there. Really stunning piece, really gorgeous case shape as well. But that is enough of the Citizen. Let's get on to the watch you are here to see, and that is the A.Lange Sohne Saxonia thin 37mm in white gold. Now, we were fortunate enough to have a Saxonia 35mm in white gold last year, so it's very exciting to now get the 37mm in, and you can see the finishing is just stupendous. We'll put macro shots on screen for you guys and girls to see. You get a real good sense of the finishing there. As I said, 18 karat white gold, and that includes the buckle. And the buckle alone is worth a few £100 for sure. This watch does come with its box and papers and is from January 2019, so relatively new. The condition is fantastic as well. As I said, we'll put macros on screen so you get a good sense. Really subtle signed crown as well. So the reference of this model is 201.027, and the movement inside is their caliber L.093.1. This watch, as I said, is from January 2019. It's 37mm by 43mm lug to lug, and it is only 6mm thick, or should we say 6mm thin. Incredibly thin, with beautiful brushed and polished surfaces, creating for that really nice sort of dynamic finish, if you will. It's 19mm lugs. It does come on its original brown alligator strap, and it also has a black suede strap we're providing with it. Not a ALange strap, but a really nice looking strap nonetheless. Let's show this beauty on wrist. So here it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It looks perfect. The 37mm is absolutely incredible, and I think massively underrated size as well. It's on the shorter strap, so that is to be noted. As I said, it comes with its box and paperwork, and the price of this is incredible when you consider what the retail is. So the retail is £15,500, and we're asking just under £10,000 for this watch. So as you know, I don't usually mention prices in these videos, but for this one, I think it really does deserve the price to be mentioned. So go get yourself a deal, save yourself on that retail price, and get a gorgeous ALange Sohne. From 18 karat white gold to 18 karat pink gold, the Baume Mercier. So the 18 karat pink gold Baume Mercier Classima, which is part of their classic line. Really gorgeous piece. Again, this one does come with its box and papers, and it's nice to see a 18 karat pink gold automatic classic dress watch, really. It does come with a date. It's not as classic as the ALange, but still a really gorgeous piece. And again, 18 karat pink gold buckle, which is also hallmarked as you'd expect, but a really stunning watch, and I think massively underrated when you consider the retail price of this. Now again, it's very difficult to compare this and the ALange. You can't compare them, they're two different animals altogether. But that being said, they are both 18 karat dress watches to some degree, so there is a comparison to be made, but not a very strong one, that's for sure. So this is perfect for the person who's after a pink gold watch, but doesn't want to spend the insane amounts you can get up to on certain pieces. Now the finish into the dial, again I'll throw macros because I don't know how well this is all focusing, but it has multiple finishes to the dial. A jet white dial with the pink gold accents, really nice. Sign crown, as I said, exhibition caseback showing the ETA 2892 inside, which is modified with their own rotor, so nicely decorated. Now the reference to this model is MOA10037, and this watch is from June 2017, and it does come with its box and papers, as I said, and the condition is very good. The strap is worn. It will come with a additional strap, non-Baume Mercier, but it does have the original Baume Mercier strap with it. Now onto dimensions. It is very well proportioned at 39mm. We just need to get that in focus. There we go. 39mm by 45mm lug tip to lug tip, only 8.5mm thick, so again a very classic proportioned watch when you consider the dress piece. 20mm lug, so variety of strap options other than this black strap it does come on, so a really versatile watch, and great for the person looking for a slightly different dress watch from a brand that not many people pay attention to, which makes it a very good value on the pre-owned market. And from white to pink to yellow, let's go to the Longines. Now on to a 1942 Longines in 18 karat yellow gold. A really stunning piece with Roman numerals on the dial, and it does also come with an extract from the archives from Longines. They were very kind to send us this out, which as you can see states that it was invoiced on the 2nd June 1942 in Italy. So really interesting that it has all that information on there as well. So it will come with this, the original, not a photocopy or anything like that, the original version of that with the watch. Now the watch, as you can tell, for the time period, it's very military in its design. It's got that military vibe to it, like a lot of the military watches in 1940s. Slightly interesting that it's in 18 karat yellow gold as opposed to steel, and the dial is a restored dial, but it's a early restoration, so it has also developed its own patina as the dial would have naturally in the first place. Gorgeous thin blued hands with a sub-seconds down there, and the movement inside here is the manually wound Longines caliber 27.0, a really nice movement, obviously serviced with our 12 months warranty. The case has been slightly cleaned up. It hasn't been polished by ourselves, but it has been polished in the past. And dimensions wise, let's talk about that, because this is incredible on the wrist, and I think a lot of people will be surprised to see it on the wrist when they know it's 34mm. So it's 34mm by 40mm with 10mm thick and 18mm lugs, and you can see right now we've got it paired on this brown suede, which I think matches it perfectly. A really gorgeous piece for not an awful lot of money when you consider what it is. So go check it out on the website now. Now on to one of my favourites of the drop, and it has surprised me and many other people, the Ulysse Nardin. So as I said, this watch has surprised myself and a lot of people, and also was very confusing to a lot of people when I posted it on Instagram, because you can see there's a disc or display I should say right there at 11 o'clock, and it doesn't say 11, so a lot of people were confused to what that is. But this watch is a GMT, so it has 2 time zones, and that disc right there at the top at 11 is the 2nd time zone, which changes as you change the time. Now you can see it's got a date over there at 3 and these 2 pushes, so you might be wondering what these are for. So let's discuss it real quick. So the GMT watch, for those of you that know, is to track a 2nd time zone, which is perfect for those who either travel a lot or have need to track different time zones. So let's say you are traveling and you've got your GMT set and you're in our current time zone here in the UK, and you land somewhere else and it is a few hours ahead. Rather than unscrewing the crown, changing it all as soon as you land at the airport, you can press the right way, which is that one, and it progresses the hour hand forward without changing or affecting the time or the GMT, the 2nd time zone there. So it makes it incredibly useful for the person who's on the move a lot and travels a lot. Now granted, during this current time period, you're probably not doing a lot of that, but it is a useful little function nonetheless. Now this watch is unlike most of the modern Ulysse Nardins because, to be quite frank, they're usually disgusting and this is far from that. This is beautiful and elegantly finished. This is called the Seamaster GMT Automatic and the reference to this model is 213-22. A really nice piece with a modified automatic ETA 2892-A2 inside, and the watch is from around circa 1999, and the reason we say around is because this watch does come with its box and its booklets. It doesn't come with its original papers, unfortunately, but it does come with a purchase invoice from when it was purchased in around 2005, I believe, so it comes with all that nonetheless. And it looks even better on wrist, I have to say so myself. This is 40mm, which is quite surprising because from the dimensions it does look a lot bigger, but it isn't. 40mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick, so very thin for a GMT, and 20mm lugs, so again endless strap options. It does come with its bracelet, which you can see is Ulysse Nardin signed with the anchor, both on the lugs, just a link down, and also the clasp, which is a sort of deployant butterfly, I can't English, clasp right there. No exhibition case back, just their logos and things like that. But a surprising watch, and it will surprise you when you see the price of it as well because of what it offers and also how unusual it is. As I said before, this is the kind of stuff we are known for at Kibble watches, getting the slightly more unknown pieces in and the ones that sort of stop you in your tracks and go, I never considered an Ulysse Nardin. So there you go. And we have two Hamiltons in this drop. Let's start with the amazing chronograph. So onto this stunning Hamilton. This is the Hamilton Intra-Matic automatic chronograph. The reference is H384167111. There you go. So a really gorgeous panda dial, sort of inspired by their vintage chronographs. And if you can get your hands on one of those vintage chronographs original, they are absolutely stunning, and I would love to have one in the personal collection. But this is a great alternative for someone who loves the vintage design but wants modern reliability and also modern proportions. So let's quickly get on to the proportions whilst we're on that subject. It is 40mm by 50mm, or just under 50mm lug to lug. It is 15mm thick, so it's definitely not a thin watch, and you have 20mm lug width here. So it's not a small watch, and it's definitely not true to the original proportions at all, which is something Hamilton and Longines and all these other brands seem to do a lot. Do I wish it was smaller? 100% personally, but I can see how for most people this is still going to be more than wearable. So let's put it on wrist and show you right there. So inside here is the automatic Hamilton caliber H-31, and you can see that there. Really gorgeous piece. It does have a date down there at 6, which isn't a quick set date via the crown. It actually has a push button. So this watch is from December 2018, and it does come with its full box and paperwork and also the pusher tool, and I'll put some photos on screen. This watch is pretty much hardly worn. The original owner barely wore it. Does come with its original strap and buckle as well. A really great option, especially for the price, and the price we're asking is one of the cheapest in the UK for a pre-owned model, and some places are nowhere near for a battered model. So I think it's a great option for someone looking for one of these. Now the next Hamilton, the Khaki Field Mechanical. So a 2019 Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. This one does come with both straps, the green khaki NATO and also the brown leather strap. These are great. I mean, I've done quite a few videos on these, so go check them out. There's a full review, there's 9 months owning, there's a couple of different ones as well, I believe, so go check them out. Condition of this one is fantastic. As I said, both straps, which is good because the Hamilton straps I think are around 30 to 50 pounds if you can get one from retail. Dimensions wise, these are 38mm by 47mm, so really nice and compact on the wrist. 9.5mm thick. It does add a bit of thickness with the NATO, so keep that in mind, and the lug width is 20mm. Endless strap choices. A few people put them on proper leather straps as opposed to NATOs. They do look pretty cool, but I think it's definitely a watch for a NATO strap. Obviously inspired by the early American military watches, but as I said, go check out the reviews of these on my website. I go into quite a lot of detail covering the history and what this watch is inspired by, and discussing all different aspects. This is the 80-hour power reserve model, not the 40-hour power reserve, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, a great bargain on the website at the moment. A gorgeous Amiga Seamaster crosshair dial. So I am always being asked for nice Amiga Seamasters, and I have a gorgeous one here today for you guys and girls. So this is the reference CK14761, and that is a 34mm with the crosshair dial. That dial is all original. You can see it's got some speckles and everything like that, which is to be expected, and also quite a nice little feature. And it has the bulbous lugs with the really nice chamfers, which you can still see, and it has its original sort of crosshatch Amiga signed crown, and nicely as well it does feature the hippocampus on the case back. These are just really great watches, especially for quite a bit under £1,000. You get so much watch for your money, and especially when paired on a suede, which I've gone a bit crazy with recently, but I think they look so good, especially for the sort of horrible weather we have here in the UK. It just works with the winter. I've got it on a reproduction Amiga buckle, so this is not a original buckle, but a reproduction based on their vintage ones. So there it is on wrist, probably one of the best proportion watches for 34mm, and the reason I say this is because of those lugs. They are so thick, and also the case, the thickness of the case, whilst not a thick watch, it is quite thick for 34mm. It just makes it wear a lot larger on the wrist. So as I said, 34mm by 41mm lug to lug, only 9mm thick, which is quite surprising, and 18mm lugs, so endless strap choices beyond just the suede I've chosen here. But stunning watch, and that crosshair dial really does make this watch. So go check it out on the website, lots of macro shots, and a very fair price for what it is.
And now onto a watch that I found for kill watches, the Vertex.
And last but certainly not least is the oldest watch on the table, a gorgeous 1930s Vertex. This is a radium tank, as I've called it, because as you can see on the dial and the handset is the original radium. So a lot of people freak out about that. Don't freak out about it, just don't lick it, basically, so you'll be alright. But in regards to wearability, I mean, just be careful, you know, it's the same usual stuff, but you'll be okay. The case is chrome, it does have a steel case back, and the size is really gorgeous, but I think the selling point of this for sure is that dial. You know, really subtle silver, off-white, almost eggshell, with that contrast of very dark radium lume and the way that age. And I'll show some macros of the blued hands as well, because it's really stunning. Swiss made stated down there at the bottom. Inside this is a manually wound Vertex review caliber VW54. Now this caliber was actually used in other watches such as Rotary and a couple of others, specifically the Rotary Maximus, so quite a good in-house caliber. So here it is on my wrist, and it's important to remember this is 1930s, so the dimensions are still incredible for today, and this would have been quite a large watch for a man back in 1930s, but you've got 22.5mm by 40mm lug to lug, so really nice size, only 10mm thick and 16mm lugs. It is a fixed spring bar, so these are folding straps. But what we'll do for comparison, this isn't just a gent's watch. We're going to actually show it you on a lady's wrist.
Now, as for this size on a lady's wrist, I have incredibly small wrists, and yet it still looks good, so it can be for him or for her.
And that was Leah. She is the latest member of the Kibble Watches team, and I think we're going to have to get her on camera more. What do you say? Let us know down in the comments. So there you have it. That is this week's watches. It is the epitome of what we try and do here at Kibble Watches, which is variety. You know, variety not just in terms of value, but also in terms of the kind of watches we sell. So hopefully this shows you exactly that. And for the first drop of 2021, I think it's a great way to start. So go check them out on the website. Go check them out on Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep safe out there, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.